Welcome to Artificial Intelligence for Work, School, and Life, the podcast for educators, students, workers, and lifelong learners who want to understand one of the most transformative technologies ever built and use it wisely. Every episode, we explore what AI really is, not the science fiction version, not the hype, not the fear, but the real, documented, evidence-based story of what AI can do, what it can't, and what it means for the people who teach, learn, and use it professionally and personally every day. Are you ready to begin? Okay, let's get started. Chapter 12. Critical Thinking in the Age of AI. Skills we must preserve. Key vocabulary. Critical thinking. The objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a reasoned judgment, questioning assumptions and evidence. Critical thinking is the skill that enables students to recognize when an AI-generated response sounds authoritative but is factually incorrect. Metacognition. Awareness and understanding of one's own thinking processes, thinking about how one thinks, learns, and solves problems. Students with strong metacognition can recognize when they are over-relying on AI suggestions rather than developing their own analytical skills. Information literacy. The ability to identify what information is needed, locate it effectively, and critically evaluate its quality, relevance, and credibility. Information literacy is more important than ever in an era when AI can produce plausible-sounding but entirely fabricated references and statistics. Cognitive dependency. A state in which a learner's thinking becomes dependent on external tools or supports in ways that impede the development of independent problem-solving ability. Educators worry that unrestricted AI use in homework may create cognitive dependency, where students lose the habit of working through difficult problems on their own. Socratic method. A form of cooperative dialogue based on asking and answering questions to stimulate critical thinking and illuminate ideas. Teachers who use the Socratic method prompt students to examine their own reasoning rather than accepting AI-generated answers at face value. Feature article. The Thinking We Cannot Outsource: Why Critical Skills Still Matter in an AI World. Artificial intelligence can write an essay. It can solve equations, summarize research, draft emails, generate code, and translate between languages. There is very little an AI cannot produce on demand, quickly, fluently, and at zero marginal cost. In this environment, a dangerous temptation emerges: the temptation to let AI think for us. This temptation is not new. Humans have always adopted tools that extended cognitive capability, from writing to calculators to search engines. Each new technology has prompted anxiety about the skills it might erode. Some of those anxieties proved well-founded. Others did not. The arrival of AI is qualitatively different in scale and scope, however, and educators must respond with greater urgency. Critical thinking, the disciplined ability to analyze, evaluate, and form independent judgments, is the skill that distinguishes a thoughtful person from a sophisticated parrot. It requires sitting with a hard question long enough to develop an opinion grounded in evidence and reasoning, not merely retrieving an answer. AI can provide an answer in seconds. The question is whether students are learning to ask whether that answer is right, meaningful, or applicable to their specific situation. The concept of cognitive load is relevant here. When AI handles the difficult parts of a task, finding information, organizing arguments, constructing sentences, students may be saving cognitive effort in ways that prevent learning from occurring. Research in educational psychology consistently finds that productive struggle, working through difficulty without immediate assistance, is essential for building the mental schemas that enable deep understanding. An AI that eliminates productive struggle may be reducing short-term frustration while undermining long-term learning. Metacognition, awareness of one's own thinking, is another critical skill at risk. Strong learners monitor their own understanding, recognize when they are confused, and adjust their strategies accordingly. Students who habitually outsource thinking to AI may develop less metacognitive awareness, becoming less capable of recognizing their own knowledge gaps. Information literacy, the ability to evaluate sources, identify bias, and distinguish credible from misleading information, is perhaps the most urgently threatened skill. AI language models can generate citations for articles that do not exist, statistics from studies that were never conducted, and quotes from experts who said no such thing. A student without strong information literacy skills will accept these fabrications uncritically. The solution is not to ban AI from classrooms. It is to design learning experiences that require genuine human thinking, that make the reasoning process visible, and that teach students to treat AI as a powerful but fallible tool, not an oracle. The most important question in an AI-saturated world is not what does AI say, but what do I think and why? Review questions and answers. 1. Why is critical thinking especially important in an era of AI? AI produces fluent, confident outputs that can be factually wrong or logically flawed. Without critical thinking skills, students cannot distinguish accurate from inaccurate AI responses or meaningful from misleading information. Critical thinking enables students to evaluate AI outputs rather than accepting them uncritically. 2. What is cognitive dependency, and how can AI in education create it? Cognitive dependency occurs when a learner's ability to think independently is undermined by over-reliance on an external tool. If students habitually use AI to handle the challenging parts of assignments, organizing ideas, constructing arguments, finding information, they may not develop the mental schemas and problem-solving habits those challenges would have built. 3. How does the concept of productive struggle relate to the risks of AI assistance? Productive struggle, working through difficulty without immediate help, is essential for deep learning because overcoming challenges builds durable cognitive structures. AI that immediately resolves every difficulty may eliminate this productive struggle, producing surface-level task completion without the learning that struggle enables. 4. What specific information literacy risk does AI pose, and how should educators address it? AI systems can generate convincing but entirely fabricated citations, statistics, and expert quotes. Students without information literacy skills accept these without verification. Educators should teach students to verify all AI-provided sources, use primary sources independently, and practice healthy skepticism about any output they have not personally confirmed. 5. How should educators redesign learning experiences to preserve critical thinking in the AI age? Educators should design assignments that require visible reasoning, oral defenses, annotated bibliographies, process portfolios, reflective journals, debates, and iterative revisions. These approaches make thinking the subject of assessment, not just the product, ensuring that AI assistance enhances rather than replaces the intellectual development that education aims to produce. This has been today's episode of Artificial Intelligence for Work, School, and Life podcast. Have a wonderful week ahead, and we look forward to reconnecting with you soon. Keep thinking. Keep questioning. Keep learning.